Hello everyone. In the last part of the video, we discussed the different tools available in Photoshop and how to use them. Now, we're going to use those tools to make a mock UI so that our understanding of them is better. The UI which we will be making will be of a taxi service. We will be taking design hints from Uber and trying to replicate it so that it's easier for us to understand and follow. The first thing which we'll need to do is make a canvas which resembles a mobile screen. Now, the usual size of a mobile screen is 1080 by 1920, and we will let the resolution be 300 pixels per inch. So as you can see over here, we have a canvas which resembles a mobile screen. We will be making our UI for an iOS device. So the first thing we need is a status bar on top. So I have my status bar over here. I will just copy it and paste it into my project. We can resize it by pressing Command T on the Mac and Control T on Windows. So I will just resize it so that it fits the top of my screen. There, so now we have emulated an iOS screen. Now, if you remember the Uber app, it has the following components. It has a street map view. It has taxis on the streets. It has driver information at the bottom as a card, where it shows the profile picture of the driver, his name, and his contact information. And you have a text box in the middle which says where to. And beside it is an icon which allows you to book cabs for later. Before we move on to using the Photoshop tools, we need to collect all the graphics and the images required to make the application. We will start off with the map. So I'll just copy this map into my project. Again, I will use Control T or Command T to resize the map. Now, one interesting thing which we will see over here, as I am increasing the size of the map, any portion of the map which is outside the canvas is not visible to us. So we can use this to just increase the size till it fits the mobile screen. And we should remember to hold Shift so that the dimensions of the image don't get distorted. Here we have the general skeleton of our application. Now the next graphics which we have to collect is the symbol to indicate that you can book cabs later, the pins which will identify where the cabs are, an outline for the driver profile picture. So one place which is very good to collect all these icons is Flight Icon. So it has a huge database of avatars, of symbols and icons which you can use for your mockups. The first thing which I will search for is a clock, which will identify my feature for booking cabs later. So once I click on it, the options will open up. I will go on PNG, and then I can download the 256 pixels version, and it's a free download. The next thing I need is the pins, which will identify where my cabs are. So we'll be using blue color pins to identify with the cabs. Again, the same procedure, PNG 256. And we will be using the red pin to identify where the rider is. The last thing we need is a skeleton which will identify the driver profile picture. So we can use this one for our mockup. Now that we have collected all the graphics and images which we would need, let's go ahead and build our application. The first thing we will build is the text box, which is in the middle of the screen, which says where to. I'll be using the rectangle shape to make it. Now here we have a rectangle. Let's just center it. And if we want to change the size of it, again, we can press Command T and resize the rectangle. Now, to give this UI a better appearance, what we would do is add depth to the text box. How we would do this is we select the layer in which the rectangle is. We go to the layer option, go to layer style, and then blending options. All these are options which would modify the layer in some way or another. For now, we need to add depth to the text box. So we will be using a drop shadow. So as you can see over here, the moment I added it, there is a shadow behind the box which gives it an appearance of having some depth. I can change the distance over here, which would work for us. 15 seems to be the best. Now, once we have our text box, we need to add some text in it. So here I've added the text where to, which is similar to what it is in Uber. We will just make sure the text is in the center of the text box. And using the different text properties, we can change the font. So for simplicity, we'll use Arial regular. And we can change the color. So let's give this a lighter shade. So now we have our text box ready. The one graphic which we collected was an icon to allow users to book cabs for later on. So let us go to the time icon, paste it into our project, and let's resize it so it fits inside the text box. Here we have completed the text box, which has where to, where the user can enter his destination, and we have a symbol which indicates that a user can book cabs for later on. The next thing which we need to do is use the pin to identify where the user is currently. So I will go to the pin icon which I collected, paste it here. Now I can resize it and place it on my map. So this indicates where the user is currently. The next thing which we would need is the pins to tell the user where the cabs are. And for this, we selected the blue pin. So I will just paste this over here. Again, I will resize it and start placing these pins on the map. Now, one thing which we can do is, since we need a lot of these pins on the map, we can just copy the layers. Now, how you copy the layers is using Command J on the Mac and Control J on Windows. So I will just make a copy of this layer. So as you can see here, we have layer 5 copy, and it is on top of our current layer. So I'll just use this mouse and move it out and place it somewhere else. I'll do this once more. Place it somewhere else on the map. Now we have 3 cabs on the map. The next thing which we would need now is a card below, which would tell us the driver information. Now, how we can make this is using the rounded rectangle tool. Again, I will use the same trick where I will make the card in such a way that some of it is outside the canvas and some of it is in the canvas. So it looks like the user can swipe up and access the full card. So I will just resize it now so it fits my screen. And I'll make sure that it's in the center. Now again, to add some depth to this, we will follow the same procedure where we will select the layer. We will go on the layer options, layer style, blending options, and add a drop shadow. We'll add a distance of 40. And there we have our card. Now to increase the roundness of the edges, we have options over here. So as you can see, each edge right now is rounded by 10 pixels. So I can just increase this to 20. And as you can see, the edges became more rounded. Now over here, we from flat icon, we got the user picture. So let us just copy this into Photoshop. We can resize this and move it to our card. Now to make it add more distinction to it, let's just add a circle around the picture. I will use the ellipse tool, hold shift down because I need a perfect circle, and just draw it around him. Right now, our circle isn't transparent. So how we can make it transparent is go to Fill and choose this option. It'll make it transparent now. And we need a border to the circle. So how we can do that is using this option and just change it to 1. As you can see, this has a thicker border now. I'll just make sure my circle is perfectly around the image. And there, we have the driver picture. Now the last 2 things which we need to add is the driver name and his contact information. We will go back to our text tool, add a text box right over here, which will say driver name. So we would want this to be a little more bold. So I will change the color to black. And I will change the font so it looks a little more crisp. And we can also reduce the vertical distance between each letter. For that, just make it 10. And we need to reduce the font size as it is covering too much space. Now there we have the driver name. So now the last thing which we would need is the driver contact information. So we'll just add a text box below the driver name and put in a random phone number. Just to make the distinction between the driver name and the phone number, we'll give this a lighter font color. And we'll make sure it's right below the driver name. There we have a quick UI prototype for any app which you want to make. You can obviously be more creative with it, use a lot more graphics, a lot more images, and explore around the different options we have in Photoshop. I hope this was informative and you learned a little better how to use the tools. Thank you.